Today we're going to talk about basically the topic. I've decided to play around with the words. My masculinity, my choice. Where do you think I got this from? My masculinity, my choice.
It sounds so familiar.
Basically, I got it from the feminists. This is my body, right? My choice.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So it's my masculinity, my choice. Think of one male figure in the media that you look up to since you were young, or when you were young.
That's easy, man.
A male person, in the media that you look up to.
When I was young.
When you're young or now, okay.
I know.
Okay. Well, if you guys need time to think, I'll share mine then. Right. For me, it's so it's a person in the media. It will be Indiana Jones. Because I grew up watching Indiana Jones and I fell in love with that character. I love the fact that he gets to explore all these very exotic places, and goes on these wonderful adventures. And I think he sort of inspired me to backpack and do all this crazy stuff when I was in university. I mean, not crazy lah, but backpack during my time, go on solo backpacking trips. And it's quite unusual during my time, okay? Not your time. Alright, yeah. So Indiana Jones for me. Hey, who wants to go next?
Sorry, we're talking about fictional characters now or non-fictional characters?
Someone in the
real
media.
people.
So it can be fictional, non-fictional. Someone in the media.
Oh, it can be
So for me,
fictional.
Indiana
Can be
Jones is
fictional
someone in the
also.
media, right? It's a fictional
That's
character.
true.
So he appeals to me because of sense of adventure.
When you said Indiana Jones, I was thinking it's non-fictional because it's Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of is it cause non-fictional cause it's Harrison Ford? Yeah.
There's a difference. Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I don't look up to Harrison Ford. I look
Okay.
up
That's true. That's
to
true.
Indiana Jones, the character he plays.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, that clears things up. Eshton, you want to go first? You were gonna say something.
You can go ahead, no problem.
Mine very easy. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. So why? Because when I started working out, he was at that point in time he was every bodybuilder is they look up to him. Not only he's a big movie star and all, but he just has that gaze, that intense stare. If you don't, he doesn't talk, right? He just looks at you. He just feels very very alpha, and of course his physique at that time, I think it was 1980s, was Mr. Olympia. So to me that was it's just a bit inhumane. Nobody can be built that way. So to me he was like the man of the man, I don't know how to explain that, but just it was just quite iconic. So he kind of inspired me in a sense, but not so much of because I don't know him personally, right? So I wouldn't say that, but I guess the way the media portrayed him kind of appealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's what inspired you to participate in all these bodybuilding competitions, right?
No, I guess.
This guy, he has
it's
participated in a few bodybuilding competitions.
So it's a long story, but at the beginning, you need someone to have a goal towards, for everything. Let's say you play basketball, you won't think of the lousiest basketball player. You would think of Michael Jordan, right? When you play basketball, you always want to aspire to be greater. Nobody wants to aspire to be lousier than they are. So it's just a natural human thought process, I guess. Yeah. Okay, next.
Thank you very much for sharing it.
Boris.
I'll go with a non-fictional person. So I think
male.
Yeah, so I think recently, in the past few years, ever since Game of Thrones came out, the male actor that I really like is Jason Momoa. And
okay. Oh man. Oh. Okay.
I love it because
which character or which the actor or the character?
The actor is not in
The actor
any,
himself.
Yeah, the actor himself, because I like the way he's built. I like his beard. I like how grizzly he is. I like his family. He's very loving to his based off media, right? So
Yeah.
what we see, he loves his two daughters. He loves his wife.
I
His
agree.
wife is older than him. I think by I don't know 5 or 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. So I just love this whole very like wholesome guy, and I personally think that like in terms of archetype, right? I know that he's not the kind of guy that a lot of Singaporean girls will like, because he has facial hair. Yeah, a lot of Singaporean girls don't like guys with facial hair. So I like the unique, you know, the
girls or women are you mixing with?
the archetype, you know. That's the impression I have lah. That's the impression I have. Because Singapore media, the guys all don't have beard. All very clean shaven. Yeah.
Not like the UK people, you know.
Right, they like UK people and all, they can just wear it, you know, and no one's going to judge you. Everyone, as long as you maintain your beard well and everything. But then in Singapore, it's like, oh,
it's the weather, man. Trust me, you can't have that in Singapore. You're gonna have pimples.
Yeah. But Jason Momoa.
Okay. Jason, Eshton, how about you?
I think for me it would have been Alexander McQueen.
The car?
No, not the
driver.
McQueen. Alexander McQueen, the designer.
Oh, okay.
Designer!
Not the McQueen car. Before that, there was a designer.
Sorry, I'm not in this.
Since there was like 2 misunderstandings. And explain to us who he is.
Okay, Alexander
Yes, I'm gonna
McQueen.
be
I don't know. You guys probably have seen his stores around. He's the one that
He died, right?
Yeah, he died a while back. Actually, quite a
I
long time.
don't even know what he looks like, man. I'm googling now.
Yeah.
But I'm also, I think it's because of the work. I mean, I'm not that huge a fan where I like followed his life, but I follow a lot of his works. And in the fashion scene, right, he was always the person that went against the grain. So in his era when he came out, everyone described him as the weirdo of the scene because he did not go along with whatever themes or
The social norm.
the social norms. He was just like, I'm gonna do my thing and I'm gonna blaze through however best I can do it. And I'm gonna make it work lah, one way or another lah. Yeah. So I think that's sort of ingrained into me, like going into design also. And from that era seeing that. And I guess now after a long time I'm in fashion also lah, so it did affect that in one way. Yeah.
The Matrix is everything.
Wow. So that's why you're doing what you're doing today.
I would think so.
Right.
Yeah.
See it when you look out your window,
Okay.
or when you turn
This guy designs shoes and kinds of stuff, clothes. Amazing, man. It's
Yeah, I just Google him. It's like interesting. I didn't even know what he looked like.
no, I'm talking about Eshton himself. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, now let's look at a male figure that you admire, a real person in your life. Who is one person in your life that you look up to, or who has a profound influence in your life? It must be a male figure, okay? Yeah.
My dad.
Okay, your dad. Since you name offers, why don't you start off and share? Give us a reason why.
I would say like whatever because now I'm really like adulting, like I'm just passing like late 20s and stuff. I start to realize like a lot of things that my dad did when he was my age. Like so many times I just stop and wonder like how did my dad do it? Like now I don't even have like a kid, right? But then like back then at his age, he was in like a regular in the Air Force. Then my mom was also in the Air Force, so like he has to juggle that relationship, and then he was always like going to the in-laws and stuff. Plus he was like studying part-time masters, which I did full-time. So you know full-time is always like you just need to focus on one thing, right? So and that was already hard. Like I have no idea how he managed to work full-time, study part-time masters, and raise me at the same time. So there's a lot of like moments in my like also of every year, like as I was growing up, like I was like, how come I'm struggling? Like my dad had it worse, and like I just really respect that. And like you can't really like go back and like question. I mean, I would go back and like I wish I could see it, but you just like you're kind of in awe. Like I mean, everyone kind of probably will agree. Like you know, like if you're gonna be a parent and then like your first time for everything, but don't you remember like when you were young and your parents were like taking care of you? It looked like they were very natural about it. Like they knew what they were doing. But then when it's like kind of like your turn and like you might almost like take that baton, you're like totally clueless. Like I just kind of like got my first car and everything, and like it's just everything is like a new home. Everything is like a big change, and then like you're like a bit lost. But it's like part of growing up and you learn. But like back then when you look, it's like I really felt that my dad like got it all figured out, which I really don't know how he did that. Yeah, and plus like he does like Ironman triathlon around the world still.
Yeah,
So
I remember him.
I have no idea. So he basically he trains like more than me. Like I thought I trained like 6 times a week, 2 hours a day. I thought that's a lot, but he's next level. So it's just someone who I look up to, inspiration. Yeah.
For me, it's my granddad. So I'm from a single parent family. So my granddad always filled the role of a father. I think similar to Marcus, my granddad's story also quite interesting. So for me, my granddad, he prioritized the family a lot and he believes in hard work. So these are values that are displayed in what he does daily. So even now he's still working as a security guard, and that was considering that he doesn't have any qualifications. When he was retrenched from his job at the hotel, he had to do like building
This
maintenance.
was recently or what?
No, that was like years ago. Yeah, that was sometime I think when I was in secondary school or something.
Right.
Then he was doing maintenance for buildings for a while, and then after that, cause his age, companies don't really want to hire him anymore. Cause building maintenance means you might need to climb ladders and stuff like that. So they're just worried, even though he's able-bodied. So he pivoted to be a security guard. Which when I came back from, I think it was work one day. And I saw him studying at night, and because the methods of studying for him is copying word for word from the textbook, that kind of thing, and at his age he's still studying, then that says a lot, and it displays that at the end of the day, he values work and he brings food to the table for the family, and that's his way of showing love. Yeah.
Respect.
Who wants to go next?
I am.
The one's Eshton.
Okay.
So I guess similar, my dad. I think one of the things that always stuck with me is something my dad said to me before, is that he came from a broken family. His dad left the family when he was very young, and he was very angry at that for a very long time.
Right.
But
He was
I
very
remember-
angry for a long time.
It is
Mm.
all
Is that what you mentioned?
Yep.
even now
And
in this very
like my dad is a pastor, and like even when he became a pastor, he was still dealing with that issue of anger at his dad back then.
Right.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that always stuck out to me was when he said once to me before that I might not have had a dad, but I will try my best to be the father that you need.
Right.
And that's like telling me that, I guess somewhat like what Marcus said, like we all go in blind ultimately. No matter what experience you might have, being a parent is a very different thing and very different ballgame for each of us. So, and how he continued to live his life, like even when he got married with my mom, and then he had my sister and I, and continued to do his passion, and knowing that he's going to try to provide for the family in whatever way possible. And I think that carry on to how I perceive value in what I do also, and how they perceive value of what my family and my sister, like how we carry out our lives, where it's not necessarily just monetary, but it's also very much emotional.
The
and
Matrix is
that.
there. It is all around us. Even
Okay.
now in this
Thanks
very
for sharing. Okay. I have to remind myself a question. Male figure that I look up to.
Male figure, yeah.
Okay, I don't think you guys know me in this area. I grew up with a very emotionally attached parent. So whatever you study in local groups, it's okay. Marcus, you can join us when
Oh. Are they taking turns?
What's happening?
So, I'll answer this question and I'll go a different direction. I grew up in a family where the men, they don't they are very stoic. They do not communicate much. You know, the very tradition. Remember I'm like 1-2 generations ahead of you know. So I really grew up in a very traditional family. My dad doesn't communicate at all. And in fact, he's very strict with me when I was young.
You want to know
And I
the
after a few years,
measures
I understood because that's how he was parented by my
even now
grandfather.
in this very
Okay, and so because of that, I swear to never become like them when I'm a parent, or when I choose to become a male mentor as an educator. So I literally swing towards the opposite. Yeah, so I'm not saying that I admire myself, but I can't think of a male mentor that I truly admire. But there are probably different motivational speakers, male motivational speaker, but I can't recall one. So I'm just saying where I come from. So what I do in the school settings, I'm actually I'm not airing my dirty laundry. That's just the way life is. Okay. But the good thing with my dad is he has changed recently, so he's become more conversant, but still a man of very few words. So I respect him for that, because to be able to come out of his shell, not his shell. Yeah, and so I always admire the younger generation like y'all, where y'all have very close relationships with your dad. Yeah, I don't. So that's why I make it a point to
what
to
it is.
develop group mentorship with my students when I can. Yeah.